Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. You've all probably been wondering where have I been. Well, that's for me to know and you to find out. I like to keep a little mystery here on the channel, but here's some things I can tell you and can show you today. Before we get to some really awesome science news, I want to show you some UFO clips of some really strange things caught ranging from down here in our sky to elsewhere in the galaxy. So let's just start with this moon footage here. Really interesting. Of a guy who was obviously recording the moon using a Meade 6000 80mm Apo telescope. He was observing it when all of a sudden something strange was captured moving across. Now this is a very short clip and it's all we have at the moment. It looks like he edited it down just to where the UFO passes by, and well, we'll go ahead and loop it over here. Okay, so like I said, really quick, but that's totally fine because it allows us to focus on whatever this strange thing is that was captured passing by the moon. And as we slow this footage down here, you'll notice that whatever it is, in my opinion, it seems to be much closer to the moon than it is to planet Earth. That is because the object is much more in focus, whereas if this were a plane or a balloon passing by right overhead of the telescope, it would be so close due to the zoom level that it would just be a massive blur passing by the screen if we were able to see it at all. But whatever this object is, it's definitely out there in space. And as you're checking this out, there's actually definition to this. It's not just some dark, blurry object passing by. And I've gone ahead and applied some visual filters to this because the original footage is a little bit more washed out. But notice here as we're zoomed in, I'm trying to give you guys the best shot here. This has a really strange shape to it. It's not your average saucer or spherical shape. It looks almost like two objects together. And notice with this really high contrast filter, there's shadow to the object. And it reminds me of sort of a bell-like shape. Originally, I thought, well, maybe this could be the International Space Station, but the more I looked at it, it's definitely more of a circular, almost like two circles together, like a figure 8. And this just doesn't look like it. So we have a legit unidentified object here moving at a very steady pace, doesn't seem to be tumbling or spinning or anything like that. So yeah, I'm very intrigued. This was submitted to MUFON, it was posted online, I'll put the link to it below. And as I was watching this reminded me of probably one of the craziest UFO moon videos I've ever seen before, captured by a channel many of you may know as Crow 777. And this guy, he's very famous for his moon vids. One of the videos he posted, which I'll put the link to down below, is of one of his telescopic captures of the moon, where not only do we have an object seen passing by, but the detail of this video capture is amazing. So amazing that you can even see what appear to be thrusters firing off as it slowly floats through space or above the moon. So check out this clip from Crow 777.
Is again color, brightness, contrast manipulation to help the view, to help us view this better. But this footage will show you at 600% zoom that there's something controlling the engines here. There goes the first flare of the engine as it tilts towards us. Now you can see the triple engine glow, and you'll see a big flare here shortly where the thrust is kicked on. Right there's a very short burst, and it tips away. There it goes on again. And then I think as it clears the edge of the moon, we get another big thrust, but that'll have to be in the following clip. So what I'm going to do is go forwards and backwards at the first point that the object tips enough for us to see the glow of the engine and then the first flaring of the thruster. There it goes, and then we're going to see it backwards here with a color contrast change, and then I'm going to darken it down and do this once more going forward. This is at 20% speed, and there's the first indicator that we were looking at something unusual.
So how's that for amazing footage? How's that for the skeptics who say that this stuff is just hogwash, UFOs don't exist, it's all something drummed up by Hollywood and tinfoil hat wearers? This is real. And if you see footage like this and still deny the truth, the obvious truth, well, I don't think anything will make you believe. So you can check out this whole video on Crow 777's channel. I'll put the full link to it down below. Check it out. He analyzes it. But this goes to show these things are out there, above the moon, flying in space. And well, let's move forward. Speaking of space, we have yet another capture of what appears to be from this telescopic imagery on Google Sky as yet another elongated cigar-shaped object, something we've been talking a lot about. These things have been seen and spotted predominantly in space. I've done a bunch of videos lately about how, for some reason, these long cigar-shaped UFOs are being spotted near the Orion Nebula, with multiple telescopic footage from the Hubble to high-powered telescopes down here on the ground. And, well, if you go to Google Sky and you put in the coordinates, which I'll put down below in the video description, you go to a part of space here, you zoom in, and as you go deeper and deeper, suddenly we have this extremely long object captured in the imagery that may or may not have a second object accompanying it. If you see here, we have a circular object down to the lower left. I don't know if that's another star in the distance or something that is tagging along with whatever this is, but what I can say is they're both the same color, they're both in focus, and so I don't know if they're connected or not. But notice this very long object here that when I first saw it, it struck me as extremely similar to what was captured during the Phobos incident, which, if you guys remember, was a Soviet probe that was sent to Mars back in the 70s. It was flying near one of Mars's moons that's called Phobos, a very strange little moon. Some people believe it's even artificial. And the satellite was suddenly knocked out of orbit. They actually lost 2 satellites. But the second satellite that they sent out to Mars before it was knocked out by something, it snapped a couple of photographs of what appeared to be a massive cylinder or cigar-shaped object floating near the moon of Mars, captured just seconds before the satellite was knocked out and lost forever. Furthermore, to the skeptics out there who would say that this cigar-shaped object captured in this imagery during the Phobos incident was just a glitch or something like that, well, how do they explain the photographs of the shadow that was being cast by this massive cigar, also imaged as it floated across the surface of planet Mars? And so that's what this reminded me of. It also should bring to mind the recent discovery of the mystery asteroid, as they called it, by the name of Oumuamua. It was captured blasting through our solar system, also described as pencil-shaped, cigar-shaped, and that even Harvard scientists believed could have very well have been an alien ship of some sort. And so I don't know what it is, so check it out down below. I'll put the coordinates. And lastly today, some very interesting science news is in regards to these 2 gigantic land masses, or blobs as they've been called, discovered inside of planet Earth, which scientists really can't account for. They don't understand it, they can't explain it. And so in the new report here from Live Science and others, we have the title, Meet the Blobs, 2 continent-sized mountains in Earth's deep mantle that nobody understands. They go on to talk about how near the bottom of Earth's mantle lie 2 of these continent-sized blobs of hot, compressed rock. The mesmerizing image you're seeing here, featured in an article on EOS, or the official news site of the American Geophysical Union, gives us one of the most detailed views yet of these rocky anomalies, which even the scientists refer to as the blobs. And while geophysicists have known about the blobs since around the 1970s, we aren't any closer all of these years later to understanding them, and they're among the largest things inside of our own planet. And we literally don't know what they are, where they came from, how long they've been around, or what they do. But this much is evident. One of the so-called blobs lurk deep below the Pacific Ocean, the other beneath Africa and parts of the Atlantic. Both are massive, with each blob, according to scientists, measuring about 100 times higher than that of Mount Everest. So massive and tall, in fact, that the International Space Station would have to navigate around these things as it floated over Earth. But as far as any other information about these things go, we just don't know. What are they? Where did they come from? Hopefully, we'll get some answers one day, but I just had to show you guys this really awesome detailed 3-dimensional image here, so tell me what you think. New strange mysteries about space, the skies, and our own planet are coming to light each and every day. And if you guys want to see more, well, stick right here with Secureteam. New videos are coming, so stay tuned, stay safe, and I'll see you back in just a bit.